I trained the new guy at work, then found out he was hired to replace me. When they introduced Daniel, I actually liked him immediately. He was polite, smart, and a little nervous in the way all new hires are during their first week. Clean shirt, notebook in hand, asking the kind of careful questions that make you think, okay, this guy actually wants to learn. My manager brought him over to my desk Monday morning. This is Daniel, she said. He's joining the operations team. I want you to get him up to speed. I smiled, shook his hand, and said, sure, welcome. Nothing about it felt strange, at least not at first. We'd been growing fast, so new hires weren't unusual. And honestly, I was good at onboarding people. Probably too good. I'd been at the company almost 5 years. Long enough to know every broken process, every hidden workaround, every client quirk nobody documented because everyone just asked me. If something went wrong, people came to me. If a system broke, I fixed it. If a client was angry, I calmed them down. I wasn't flashy, but I was useful. The kind of useful companies claim to value right up until they don't. So when my manager asked me to train Daniel, I didn't question it. I built him a full onboarding doc, walked him through our software, explained the reporting system, client escalations, approval chains, vendor contacts, internal politics, everything, and he picked it up fast, really fast. By the second week, he was already handling tasks most new hires don't touch until month 2. By week 3, he was shadowing my calls. By week 4, he was joining meetings I wasn't invited to. That's when I noticed the first crack. One Tuesday afternoon, I passed the conference room and saw Daniel inside with my manager and the department director. He had his laptop open and was presenting something. That felt off. Later, I asked him casually, how'd the meeting go? He hesitated, then smiled. Oh, just a workflow thing. Maybe it was true, maybe it wasn't. But that tiny pause before he answered stayed with me. Over the next 2 weeks, more things started happening. My manager stopped looping me into conversations I used to lead. Daniel started getting copied on client emails that used to come directly to me. Then my manager asked me to do something strange. Can you document your daily responsibilities in more detail, just so we have better process clarity? That phrase, process clarity, felt wrong, but I still did it. I documented everything, every workflow, every workaround, every hidden dependency. I handed them the map to everything I knew, and Daniel was right there beside me, watching, learning, replacing. I just didn't know it yet. Then came the moment that changed everything. It was a Thursday, and I had stayed late to finish a client escalation because, of course, no one else knew how to fix it. Around 7:15 p.m., I went to print a report from the shared printer near HR. When I got there, a stack of papers was already sitting in the tray. I wasn't trying to snoop. I just looked down automatically, and at the top of the first page, I saw my name. Then the words underneath it. Transition plan. Current role coverage. My stomach dropped. I picked it up just enough to read the first paragraph. Daniel Harper will assume primary ownership of current operational responsibilities following role transition scheduled for end of month. Role transition, not team expansion. Not support. Transition. I kept reading. Knowledge transfer has progressed successfully under current employee guidance. Current employee. That was me. Then I saw the final line. Termination communication tentatively planned pending final HR approval. Suddenly every weird moment made sense. Every extra meeting. Every missing invite. Every request to document my work. They hadn't hired Daniel to help me. They hired him to become me, and I had been training him myself. The next morning, I walked in like nothing was wrong. My manager asked if I could finish documenting the vendor escalation process. I said absolutely. Then I made a decision. If they wanted a smooth transition, they were about to be disappointed. I didn't sabotage anything. I just stopped covering for the chaos. For years, I had quietly held that department together with memory, instinct, and invisible labor. And suddenly I stopped compensating. 3 days later, things started slipping. A client escalation turned ugly. A reporting error hit leadership. A vendor missed a deadline. My manager was suddenly stressed. Daniel looked overwhelmed. Then one evening, he came to my desk and asked quietly, are they replacing you with me? I looked at him and said, yeah. He looked down. I didn't know. Not at first. I believed him. A week later, they called me into a meeting. HR, my manager, the director. But the tone was different this time. We may have underestimated how much of this function depends on you, the director said. Then came the offer. Higher pay, new title, retention package. The same company that was ready to erase me now wanted to keep me. But once you know someone was willing to replace you in silence, trust doesn't come back with a title bump. So I said no. I gave notice 2 days later. On my last day, Daniel came by my desk and said, I'm sorry. I told him, don't be sorry. Just remember this when they tell you you're important. Because sometimes the most valuable lesson a company teaches you is exactly how replaceable they think you are.